What's he popping, you beautiful humans? My name is Ariane, and
Welcome. I'm Matt Dillon, and welcome to another piping hot episode of Sippin' the Tea, where we
sip the tea and our guests
spill that tea. Oh, wait, let's see if the producer in the city today will cut that track. Let me just take a little sippy.
We got little glitty glit here.
We got Miss Mama, and we have prolific producer, hit maker for Cardi B, Bruno Mars, you name it, you probably heard the song. His story behind the music, though, and what he does is so fascinating and profound. We just had to have him here. Needlz, what is up? Thank you for coming through. Look at sharp.
Right? Serving the
You can leave that on the way out.
Okay, we're just gonna dive right on in.
Okay.
Let's take it back. So, when did you know that music was a passion for you? Was it something that you knew when you were just first born, or did something that kind of just happened over time? Take us back. Tell us your story.
Yeah, for sure. I grew up in Lansing, Michigan.
Okay.
There really wasn't too much of a hip hop scene per se, but I just remember going to this movie and seeing this movie Juice, and at the time the character was like the coolest dude. He was, and after that movie I just knew I wanted to DJ basically. The main character was a DJ. Started out DJing in high school, DJed in college, and went to Florida State and Florida A&M.
Okay.
And while I was there, I was in school for like music business, or for business. And into my like sophomore year, I was kind of like really leaning more towards the music. The whole, hi, my name is, Kari, and this whole business kind of lifestyle wasn't for me per se. I ended up going to school at NYU for grad school.
Okay.
And they had
He's
a music.
smart too. He's smart too.
They were at the time they were one of the only schools that had a curriculum for music business. So from there I stopped DJing and started producing, and kind of one thing led to another in New York, and the rest is history. I guess while I was at NYU, a part of my curriculum was to intern, and I interned for Puffy and Bad Boy, and while I was there, they kind of my bad, Diddy. I was like, who is it? Yeah, I interned for Diddy's partner company that managed a lot of producers. So that's really how I got my start.
Chasing that passion right there.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you get to that level. You fast forward now. You win in awards. Just won an award for Cardi's song.
Yeah.
How is it? The dream that you had and the passion that you literally were like, well, I was in school for business, but the music was in my blood.
For sure.
Fast forward to now, you've worked with some of the biggest names, Mars, Cardi, you name it.
Yeah.
Kalani, yeah.
Tell us about like that transition and now like actually living the dream and what that's like to, collab with the names of right now.
Yeah, those are hit names.
Yeah, I think for me, I've always been big on working with new artists. Mm-hmm. So I did Bruno Mars' first song, Just the Way You Are.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
In my shower, yes.
Yeah, so, and then a lot of, Cardi B, I was on her first album. I was on a lot of people's first kind of introductions to the world. So right now, music is a passion, but for me, specifically working with new artists is kind of where I've kind of transformed. And as far as living the dream, it's just like, I don't know, one day maybe I'll soak it in, but to me it's just like work. Yeah, I'm in it, you know what I mean? I don't really have time to like pat myself on the back per se. You know what I mean? I'm like really trying to.
But that's what keeps success right there.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Is always staying hungry.
Yeah.
Obviously not being extreme, but and having that balance, but staying hungry and always wanting to keep leveling up.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's levels to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people that aren't doing as much as I'm doing are looking at me like, oh wow, I wish I can get there. But I'm looking at, I'm looking at Diddy, I'm looking at these other cats.
About.
You know what I mean?
That's fascinating
There's
to look at.
levels, yeah.
You're looking way 50 steps ahead.
100%. You have to at all times,
I mean, over here making some huge marks over here. So I mean, for you just feel like you're hitting the surface, but the sky has no limits for you. I mean, who is like your dream collaboration that you would love to or not I guess you could say it's a collaboration. Who would you
For sure.
See yourself working with that is like a dream for you? Like, damn, gotta have that person.
Then you pat yourself.
That's really interesting because over the years it really has changed. When you come up, you want to work with Rihanna, You want to work with, you know, the Jay-Z's and those, you know,
Yeah.
those real staple artists. So I would say maybe Rihanna, that would be a good one, I would say. But I really, really get more satisfaction on like finding the next Rihanna or the next Bruno, or you know what I mean? Like to me, taking them from, like there's a new cat I'm working with, his name is Marcus Daniels. He's like right now performing on the street, performing. Like I just met this cat. He's performing for money. That's how he's that's how he's providing for himself. But I see a lot of talent in him. I see he could be the next big thing. And
Name again, Marcus
Daniels.
You heard it here first. I'm telling you.
Yes, Marcus.
He's got the proven track record.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. And so now, like, I can kind of see the vision of his career. We started making music, and it's coming out great. And it's just like, I can't wait to see him performing in front of, you know, hundreds of thousands of people, and and that's really, really, I guess,
That's
my
your passion?
Yeah.
That's
So
dope,
beautiful
right?
to like.
Yeah.
It's such a juxtaposition. I have to get this out of the way. I mean, Needlz, it's like I was expecting like Thug Daddy to walk in and be like,
Nah.
"Sup, G?"
Yeah.
I'm like, he- such a heart, and like, again, that I feel like is part of that success.
Yes.
Because you care,
Yeah, for sure.
and I feel like that's. I
It
guess
doesn't
It's
come
not
out a
about
lot.
the
It's not about the money at
You
all.
know, that's what
It's-
I get from you.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, I just want my music to live longer than me. And I really want to, make an impact. I mean, the money comes and goes, And I think for me, it's like, what did you bring to the art? What
Very
did you
deep.
bring? Yeah.
Very
it's,
deep.
It's really more than the money for me.
It's real though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's, again, it's like, it's so amazing when you meet these, meet people like you who the real true definition of success is, again, making that impact,
Yes.
building that culture,
For sure.
and to say, you know what, I left my mark
For
here
sure.
on this earth.
For sure.
Because it's bigger than you.
100%.
So I think that that's dope. And especially taking a new artist, because people need that chance.
Yeah.
You know? It's like in the entertainment industry, they'd be like, well, you got to have a chance to get it in order to get a chance. But you're like, well,
Yeah.
who's going to give me the chance? You
Yeah,
know?
well, it is a little bit like that in the music industry as well. I mean, people want to see how many followers, people have and all that stuff. But I kind of go the opposite. I'm really going for the talent. I feel like we can always find ways to get followers and stuff like that. I want something that's gonna, once again, make an impact and have a longer career, a lifelong career, as opposed to like a song that's hot in 2019.
15 minutes of fame.
Yeah. That's important.
I think that's great the way you look at it, because you're taking something that's raw,
Yeah,
but you also have the resume to back it up.
for sure.
So you could, when you say like, when you asked that question to Rihanna, it was like, you could, that's not unachievable. That's probably like,
No,
you can make
yeah.
a couple of calls,
Yeah.
but by choice,
Yeah.
you want to lay a foundation for your future and for the generations that come after, and probably for your daughter too.
100%, yeah. I think that ultimately, I don't know. You just get more out of it, and you don't have as many like boundaries. Like, when you work with new artists, I can do whatever I want. But if I work with, I don't know, whoever, I'm kind of stuck in a box.
Totally.
That's the thing I hate.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Because you have that machine, that system.
Yeah, you have to
So-
fit into this box. But if I bring out something that's totally different, so a fresh approach at it, that's what people kind of love to hear, something different.
We're craving that.
Yeah.
Cardi was different. You said
100%.
Cardi was different.
Yeah.
Cardi
Yeah.
was like, what is this?
Yeah. That's what you kind of want to have. And sometimes, you may not, like, if you look at my discography, you'll see a song, big record, then I'll just quiet down, and a big record. And kind of like what I'm doing in those lulls, I'm kind of developing artists and kind of really trying to beat the curve, like really try to get ahead of the curve. And so, and not a lot of people get it all the time. Like, there's a lot of labels that pass on like records just because they don't quite get it, or it's not that time. So it's definitely a lot of time and a lot of patience on my part,
And it's hard having patience in this industry.
It is.
Especially now, I mean, there's Amazon, there's all these things where it's like instant gratification.
Yeah.
So everyone wants everything instant instead of saying, like, like you plant the seed, you may not see it right then, but it's gonna eventually pop off.
For sure. And I'm out here working all week, but I'm working, the stuff I'm doing now is really for next year or
The years
or
to follow.
yeah, you know what I mean? So you just have to know that, and
You get it.
Yeah,
I could
I've been
just
doing it
talk
for a
to
while.
you and you just get it. And not everyone gets it, or they have that little bit of success and they lose it because it's just like they don't understand. They don't understand the process.
Yeah.
And life is a process and it's about that journey.
For sure.
And speaking of the process, you made a short film.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that. It's about, your everyday life and your daughter. And I kind of want to bring some awareness, to the viewers who are listening who has autism. And I think that it's very important to, talk about the awareness of that because, it's not.
It's something that's passionate with
It's
you,
something
too.
passionate with me just because I used to work with autistic children. So when I heard that, I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And she's beautiful. So let's talk about,
sure.
talk about your short.
Yeah, so I was doing some work for an ad agency just randomly, and they came to my house to my studio to do some edits. And while they were there, they just kind of had a peek into my life. Like I was on the phone, I was doing this, I was just really doing a lot. And they kind of saw a story in my life. So they were like, hey, we just want to kind of follow you around and film you for about 6 months.
Oh, wow.
He's like,
And I was like,
That's a long time.
what's crazy is because I wanted to do something like that. I actually started filming for a documentary or whatever it was going to be a while ago, but some guy lost footage and it was just a fiasco years ago. So it was kind of like perfect timing. It was like God sent for them to approach me about it. And so they followed me around, during my work life, and then my home life. I have three kids. I'm married. And one of my children has autism. Her name is Michaela. And
Beautiful.
they kind of just followed us around and saw like a love story kind of in that whole balance of work, life, family, and just my need to stress the importance of family. Because, once again, you can make all the money, you can be as successful as you want, but if you at the end of the day, you kind of want to go home, to your loved ones or have somebody that's around. So the story kind of highlights, some of the challenges my daughter goes through, as well as some of the madness we as a family kind of go through. The name of the short is called As Long As I Got You. And if you want any more information on it, you can go to aslongasIgotyou.com.
we're going to get there, don't worry.
But he's smart.
He's like, I got a call coming through. Rihanna, I got to go.
But so it's been well received. It's been submitted to all the film festivals and all that stuff. So it's not really out there for public consumption yet, but I can't wait for people to kind of see it. It's a 13-minute short on my life. So
it's beautiful. We got lucky to see it, and it's beautiful. And I guess the question there is like, was that hard? Did you struggle sharing so much there, or is that something that is part of you seeing? You're laying foundations for young artists. You're laying this. Is that part of opening up to share, to inspire, and to do? You're not doing this just for money or accolades. You're doing this to create change.
Yes, for sure. I don't think it was. I think it was for that purpose. I knew it was more so a bigger purpose. It really wasn't about me and opening up, and I didn't really think about that. I'm just me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I'm just me. And if you happen to film me that day, you know what I mean, then you just catch a glimpse. I don't really like to be anybody but me at the end of the day. So
Very calming.
Yeah.
You bring in a nice energy here.
yeah.
That's what people relate to. Is people
sure.
who are vulnerable and authentic and stay true to themselves. Because everybody's wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Ready?
Especially
Ready?
now,
Let it go.
Wait, let me just move this makeup off. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Especially in entertainment, though. I mean, everyone is, especially now with social media. It's great to find people like you who can just say, "This is my true, authentic self."
For sure.
Because if you try to please everybody, you please no one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
And people that have legit resumes, because there's a lot of people that are fake
who claim
Yeah.
it.
claims to
claim
have
it.
it,
Yeah.
and are like got the horn blowing out there, telling everybody they're doing this shit, and they're like, "Bye."
And it's fake. It's
Yeah.
not even real.
Absolutely. So, I mean, so the film is one aspect of it. just to bring awareness to autism. But the bigger thing that we're trying to do is we're trying to raise money for a bus. And what this bus would do, it will travel around Atlanta. We're going to start in Atlanta, but it would go to like lower income neighborhoods to bring awareness and to help point parents that don't have a lot of information on autism. We're just trying to make it a way for them to get their child seen, go on the bus and really get a full experience, and more importantly, information about their children. Because the lower class communities, they normally get misdiagnosed. They get diagnosed later when it comes to autism. So this bus is going to be really going to kind of pinpoint and try to get some earlier diagnoses for people of color, lower income people as well. So.
And how are you? Is there like a website, or is there?
Yes, there's 2 places you can go. You can always go to aslongasigotYou.com, and it'll point you where to go. It's called Michaela Moving Autism. There's a big bus, and you can see the picture. The bus will be wrapped and stuff like that. So we just kicked off that campaign last week. We had an art show at my house in Atlanta. It was an art show. We had Hell's Kitchen chef. We had live music, and so that was kind of like
we missed that invite.
Yeah. Y'all should have been there. It was really.
Hang on.
The next one.
Yeah, we're gonna do it yearly. We're gonna do it, yearly, and it was a really cool event. So. Yeah.
Man, what you're doing is major.
Thank you.
It really is. On every level.
Yeah.
On every level, and much success. And thank you for being a true pioneer in what you're doing.
For sure.
And loving what you do. 'Cause
Yeah.
I can tell you love what you do because the eyes sparkle and
you're humble, and that's what's keeping you that's why you have continued success.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
let's shake this shit up just
Right?
a little
I
bit.
know.
we gotta shake it.
We just got a little, it got deep. Hang on, I got, the hairs are up and I'm hearing, man, let me tell you.
Okay, so we're gonna switch it up a little
let's
bit.
switch it
We're
up.
gonna make it a little light,
Okay.
and we're gonna do some
And on
rapid
some light
fires.
fare.
Yes. All right. You want to kick this one off, Boo?
Let's have a look. I like this one.
Okay.
This is, what impresses you?
About who? Just about a person? About
You
anything?
name it. About what impresses you in life,
Life.
in a human being. You take it to where you want it to.
I think authenticity. That's one thing. Well, the other things that impress me are things that I'm into. I'm into architecture. I'm really into. I don't know. I'm really into good music. Obviously.
I would hope so.
You know what though? Honestly though, but I don't necessarily think that everything that's out in the music industry is like good per se.
That's true.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of music that's just like.
Stank.
It is what it is. It's also a business, but I really like, I really can appreciate music that you can kind of like vibe out to and or something that will teach you or something that kind of connects with you.
You like them teachable moments.
Yeah. So that's cool. I'm trying to think what else impresses me before I make everything like a sap story.
And this is rapid fire, too.
You can rapid fire. You can be like hot dog with cheese whiz or something.
Haichu, I love Haichu candy. That's
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
All right. Let's see. The last person who called you.
Make it good.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sipping. Make it good.
Damn, it's not good. The last person called me is.
Yeah, there you go. Look, we got
Pick
that.
it up. Come on, you had the phone
It's
now.
about being authentic, keeping it 1,000.
My lawyer.
He's doing deals.
Yeah, my lawyer called me about a
We
deal.
won't ask
Okay,
why.
okay.
We're gonna keep, and we're gonna do one more.
Okay.
We kind of touched on. Are you a morning or a night person? I think this is a tricky one for you though, because you have a daughter too. Usually.
I don't sleep. Period.
Okay, you know.
No, I'm legit. We really. My life it starts at 5:35 every morning, and then I literally come in at like 1 or 2.
Wow.
That's the life of an artist. Though.
Yeah.
I'm a creator.
A father,
you know?
an artist.
Yeah. Because you don't want to miss out on anything. You know what I mean? You just wake up. First of all, my daughter wakes up really early, make sure she's straight, and then, you have only so much time on this planet. You know what I mean? So it's just You know.
Let's get
Yeah,
it.
let's
Let's
get
get
it.
it.
Yeah,
Let's get it.
my wife is an entrepreneur as well. We just wake up, look at each other. It's really not like planned out. We look at each other and said, let's
All
just get
right,
it. Yeah,
time
just
to get it.
I
hustle.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, on that note, I think this has been.
I love the
this has been
energy, the vibe.
Yeah.
Let's take a little cheers.
Let's take a cheers on
Cheers.
that.
Yes, cheers.
Appreciate you.
All
And
right.
then we're gonna have you look right here and
Dot points where we find you.
plug
Okay.
Instagram.
Yes,
your
yes, yes.
daughter's, you know.
Absolutely. You can find me on Instagram at Produced by Needlz. That's PRODBY Needlz. That's NEEDLZ. You can find more about the short story or the short film, as well as the bus that we're trying to raise money for at aslongasyou.com. That's really it. Those are where you can find me, or that's where you can find me. And thanks for having me again.
Yeah, of
My
course.
man.
You guys can follow me across the board at Ariane Andrew and this little sleeping nugget at Wake Up Girl. I'm just
We're
kidding.
both
You
knocked
can
out.
follow me at Matt Dillon 1983, and yeah, she out. So again, I want to thank you
Yes.
for everything you're doing in music, everything you're doing in the world, in society. It's special to be able to blend passion and
Purpose.
and purpose.
For sure.
You can just,
Look at that.
and they said we wouldn't laugh. We'll be right back. My bad.
Yeah,
All right, guys.
great.
Until next week, catch us on Sippin' the Tea next Tuesday.
Yeah, you got the wrong number. Click.